Hey everyone, welcome to the Breakthrough channel. This is Breakthrough with Jeff. Once again, the place where we live life with zero limits. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hoping everyone had a lovely Friday, Jeff. I know it's cold in Nairobi, so I hope you're keeping warm.
Yes, I am. Thank you so
Um,
much, Mary.
yeah, excited to come back to this platform. Last week we talked about how to live life with zero limits, and this week I'm very excited to have everyone come here and once again break through in their lives. And today we have a very important conversation as we trickle through living our life with zero limits. One of those things that we need to do, therefore, is live our life from a point where we are being proactive. And with this, I mean that life is not happening to us, life is happening from us. Many of us have not connected that as we begin each day, it's a plain canvas, not for things to fill the day, but for us to actually exercise the control in creating what that day can look like. And so I think we really want to talk about that so that as we start thinking about living life with zero limits, we can start understanding what are the guiding principles that we can start being proactive in ensuring that our life happens from us. And so, Jeff, I hope you're ready for that today. That's the discussion.
Yes, I am.
Well, I
Let's.
don't think you have much of a choice. You're here already, huh?
I'm already here.
Oh,
Let's do it.
good. Good. So, Jeff, let's think about the concept of life happening from us and not to
Yeah.
us.
Yes.
What does that mean? I want us to start with that, just that fundamental understanding that when we say life is happening from us and not to us, everyone can start this conversation understanding what that guiding principle means.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Mary. And this is really a brilliant topic. Life happening from me is a place you reach when you begin to live life by your terms. You take over, you take responsibility over your life, and you make life happen. And that's why you begin the mastering process of mastering your life, of being in charge of your destiny, being in charge of your life. Because if you don't take charge of your life, then life will happen to you. Meaning that you go ahead, reacting to everything around you in your world. And so your world is driven not by you, but by circumstances around you. And many people, this is the life they live every day, the life of reaction, the life of being driven by what is happening outside there. So we are driven by decisions of political leaders, we are driven by economies, we are driven by our spouses, whatever it is that they do or they don't like. We're driven by our friends, by people around us. You know you've taken back your power when you begin to make life happen, from you. And it's from that place of power that you can make life happen. It's a decision. It's not a matter of ability. It's not that some people have more ability to make life happen, others don't. No, it's a decision. It's a decision. What kind of a decision? You're making a decision to remain a slave or a victim of circumstances, or the decision to be free from your programming and to live life by your design. So it's self-love, it's going back to taking back your power when you can live life from that place of making life happen. Any one of us can make life happen, so that life is not just happening to you. And by the way, Mary, thank you for that, because let me just go deeper to some of the things that people do when they allow themselves to be victims of circumstances is that they become blamers. They blame people for their life. They blame their spouses for the way their life is. They blame their governments. They blame their history. They blame. Anytime you blame someone outside of yourself, even yourself, you've no right to blame yourself. You turn into a victim of circumstances and you give away your power. But every time you begin by taking responsibility, the word responsibility is made of two words: response and ability. I have the ability to decide what my response is to what you're saying. I have the ability to decide the response to what is happening right now in the world and the impact in my life. And that's how you begin to make life happen from you.
You know, Jeff, so this is what I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think about someone who wants to be proactive and take charge of life happening from them. But then they're
Yes.
just caught up in a loop of, this is what I've known. Like, I've never been empowered. Fine. I've had what it says that I can make that decision. But I feel like even decision making is like a muscle. Like, you know how to exercise it based on your experience. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking about someone who wants to have life happen from them, but they've just not been exposed. Like, they don't even know where to start. So
Yeah.
think about anyone who's watching here who's like, I actually do want to do that, I don't know where to start. How do they start being proactive? What are some of those things that proactive people do to take charge of their life?
Brilliant question. So, one of it is having daily practices that actually set you in motion for action and setting your mind for action, not reaction. Because if there is no action, then there'll be reaction. You're always reacting to things. If you, I think it's Jim Rohn who said that if you have no vision, someone else will hire you to actually meet their vision.
Yeah,
And
execute their
most of the
vision.
time, most of the time they don't. Their vision is for them. It's not about you.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
it's not about you. So you want to come from a place of vision. Proactiveness is about is provision. Is provision. You have to be provision. You have to be for vision. There are people who are not for vision. They're not provision. They just wake up. Okay, how is this day going? How is this year about? They just moving about life. Life is happening to them. Let me tell you, that is a scary way to live, because the world has no mercy for such a person. This world has no grace for such a person. You're just reacting to what your company is going to do. You've no plan of your own. You've no vision of your own. So every day you can actually come up with three. You can imagine three goals that you want to achieve that day and call it, this is my vision. This is what I want to achieve today. And, make it achievable, something that is smart. And then go for the week, the month, the year. In the next lifetime, what are some of the visions that you can achieve? Be strategic in your thinking. Don't just think, where you are, or just think about what other people are doing. See yourself as a leader. And lead yourself from that place of self-leadership. You can decide, what vision do I want to attain? And then tell yourself over and over again. And other daily practices and rituals that can set you in motion for activity, for action, so that you're always, proactive. You're always proactive. You're not reacting. The other thing is for you to be emotionally grounded. Because if you're not emotionally grounded, you'll be reactive. Everything will mean something to you. You're going to, it's like that element that reflects the temperature of whatever is around them. Okay.
Yeah.
So if it's hot, you're hot. If it's cold, you're cold. So you need that emotional mastery in order for you to be proactive. So that you're not.
Before
Yeah, go
Before you
on.
delve too much into that, and I think that's what you're perhaps about to say. I was going to say, let's define being emotionally grounded, right? Let's
Yeah.
just have that clear so that everyone can kind of sort of get to understand what does emotionally grounded mean.
Yeah. So it's all about being in a position where you are in control of your action. You can decide to do something and do it even if you don't feel like it. So you are in control of
Mm,
your emotions. You're the one, so you're not going by what is going on. Okay. Like
mm,
today I would have said, Mary, you know what? It's cold because it is. It's very
yeah,
cold. Tell you we are not doing this show. But
yeah,
then I have learned to put my actions and my commitments before, the circumstances of what is going
gotcha.
on. And that is emotional muscle. Like you said, it's a
Mm,
muscle you have to exercise.
yeah,
And exercise comes by doing whatever it is you said you're going to do, keeping your
mhm,
promise, even though circumstances are not allowing you to. There's this
mhm.
the habit of always doing your best, always going to the best that is possible for you. Do your best every single day, and from that place, you realize, oh, I'm so proud of myself. So being emotionally strong means you're not judging yourself. Even
Mhm.
though you're going to fail, you're not judging yourself. Being emotionally strong means you are not running away from difficult conversations and difficult situations. Because why? For this one reason, you're not defined by the circumstance. You're defined by
Mhm.
who you decide to be and your
Yeah,
own perspective. And so it's an inward job. It's not external. It's an
yeah.
inward. That self inner mastery of your emotions, so that you do whatever you say you're going to do. And this is what makes you a leader in the world.
Well, I think that's really good. So we've touched on vision. So I think that's very important. Looks like one of the things to be proactive is really making sure that you sit and have a vision, and that vision does not even necessarily to be like years from now. You start off with that 1 day vision, and then that's kind of sort of what grounds you to start executing and kind of sort of planning your day and then planning your week. So I think that's very important. And now we've also talked about being emotionally grounded, and I think one of the things that you've said that I just want to highlight more is you've talked about the fact that it's important to know who you are, right? Because I feel
Yes.
like, and
Yes.
I'll tell you this, I'll tell you, very being very transparent to all of you as well. I
Mhm.
woke up this morning and the same thing. I was feeling very judgmental against, like, I didn't wake up when I wanted to wake up, and I didn't do the things I wanted to do, and it was a very fast-paced day. But believe it or not, the only reason why I was able to go through the day is because I reminded myself, I've had done this exercise of who am I? And I
Yes.
realized that even how I said feeling isn't the reflection of who I am. And so I
Yes.
think, one of the things just to emphasize that you said is like it's very important to also be able to know who you are as you try to build that emotional stability. Besides these two things, any other thing that you can think of to share to help people build the muscle of being proactive versus reactive?
Yes, so understanding your values, because when you begin with values and what you value the most, then other people's values and the world in general is not what will drive you. You'll be driven by your own values. And so
Yeah.
everywhere you're stepping in, you're asking, you're making decisions of value. You're making decisions from a place of value. So you're not just doing things, you're doing things from the place of what it is that you value. So it's good to come up with what are my 3 core values that really drive me. In that way, you are not reacting to other people's values, because everyone has values, different values. Every organization has its own values. So what are your values? It's good to know that even as you step into relationships, step there with values, so that you are responding, you're not reacting. And when you respond from a place of values. So that's something else crucial. Know your values, understand your values, and leave them out without an
Yeah.
apology.
Let's talk about planning, right? Someone, and I think you've mentioned it a little bit when you talk about vision, but we've not delved in specifically into planning.
Yeah.
And I wanted us to jump into this specifically because I do know actually of a verse in the Bible, which is Proverbs chapter 4. Verse 26, and I think it says, plan carefully what you do, and whatever you do will turn out right. And in addition to that, I can recall of a verse also that is in Proverbs that talk about the ants, how they save some food during some time for like a later time when there's no food.
Yeah.
And as part of being proactive, I feel like planning plays an important role, because at the end of the day, reacting means you're just doing things. This is what I need to do now. But
Yes.
planning is a muscle that even those who say I'm not a good planner will always have to
Yeah.
cultivate if they want to be proactive. So let's talk
Yes.
about planning, and from your own experience as you build your practice, how is planning? How are you going about it? What are some of the suggestions you can say, hey guys, this is how I plan, and these are the things that have worked, and maybe they could work for you. Can we delve a little bit on that as we think about
Yes,
productivity?
definitely. I am just the same way. I am pro vision. I am pro planning, and so planning, but then not the kind of planning that comes from your head. Is the kind of
Mm.
planning that comes from your heart. Begin where you begin from determines whether it's your own plan or it's actually a strategic plan that is God given and that has an impact on the planet. And so in your plans, you're coming from a place of inspiration. Are you inspired? Those are the questions that I want to ask. Not every plan is not just about coming with plans, because then that will be you're feeding your mind, not your heart. And so begin from a place of inspiration. Let it come from a place of inspiration. You are inspired to do something, to see something, to plan for it. And so that's a crucial part of the planning process. But the reason planning is so key, not just in a personal level, even on a global, national level, if we don't plan, I was reading of countries that have strategic plans for like hundreds of years, like 150 years. They
Yeah.
know what will happen to their sewage system, to the other system, electricity. The other people just have no plan.
Yeah.
And
They're reacting.
yeah, they go reacting to everything. And so a good strategic plan comes from what? Inspiration.
But let's talk about that. I just want to hold on to that,
Yes,
Jeff. And I
sure.
believe me and you have had this conversation. Let's make sure everyone understands inspiration, because there's a difference between a thought and an inspired thought, right?
Yes.
And I think
Yes.
that as we ask people to write plans, if they're not able to distinguish the two, then we've still not been able to identify to help them make a plan, because for them it's like, oh, I thought about this. Then you guys was, oh, it
Yes.
was inspired. So how
Yes.
do they cultivate the understanding and the muscle that reflects an inspired thought? Let's just deep dive on that a little bit.
Very good and brilliantly put. That's a brilliant question, Mary. So the thing is, for you to get into that space, that circle of inspiration, where you can connect the network with, God's vision, because God can see the future. Your Creator can see the future. So inspiration means in spirit. It means your soul can connect with your source. Okay, and when your soul connects with your source, even your business, you can see visions in the way that your mind is limited, because your mind can only see not so far. But when you come here to your heart, I tell you, you see things that you never even believed are possible. Is a matter of faith. And so you want to learn to practice things like meditation, slowing down, flowing with the rhythm of life, in that place where you can hear you can see, you can hear God, you can see the vision of the future. And it's good if you're running an organization. Let me tell you, the best thing you can do is to have inspirational leaders, or people that can actually see, can actually connect spiritually. They can see deeper things beyond what we can see now. Look at what happens to some organizations. Before COVID, they'll build big structures like churches who build 9-seaters. Right now, when the church is online, who is sitting in your seat? So you want to be inspired. Some of the good ideas, they are not good enough if they are not inspired. Inspired means in spirit. It means it's coming from your heart. It's not coming from your head. You know something is coming from your head if it's driven by fear. It's something you're doing. Oh my God, I don't want to be poor. That's why I'm saving. Oh my God, I'm going to work. I don't want. It's driven by fear. It's coming from your head.
Yeah.
But when you do it because it's coming from a place of service, it's coming from the place of soul. So you learn to connect with your creator from a place of your soul.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. I know we are running out of time today, but wow, what a great conversation. What a great way for you to show us how to live life proactively. So I really want to take the last few minutes of our session to really emphasize and recap our conversation. We should all
That's
be
right.
living life from a proactive place. From a proactive place means that life is happening from us, and it is possible for all of us to be able to live in that zone. It's a zone where we are living life with zero limits. It's the zone where we are taking control. It's a zone where we are able to create the life in oneness with why we are here. And I think a couple of the things to get us there is, one, have a vision. You want to live a life that is proactive. Have a vision. It starts from there. Start very simply, a goal for the day and a goal for the week, and build on from that. And then two is really have emotional mastery, and really be grounded. And to be grounded, you need to know who you are. And to be grounded, you need to abide by your word and not let just emotions sway you. And this is a muscle that you'll have to keep on building and building, but that's a step to get you to being proactive. And we've talked about planning, as planning is a very important phase of being proactive in your life, and really realizing that as part of planning, having inspired actions. And inspired actions needs you to flow with the rhythm of life. It needs you to take time and include such habits as meditation, to just help you connect with your spirit and be able to create plans from there. And so I do hope that I've summed it up for us, Jeff. I don't know if you have anything else to add to that.
No, perfectly put. Thank you so much, Mary.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. And for any of you who have any questions, Jeff will leave his contact information below. Feel free to reach out to him and understand how can you start building a proactive life. And so thank you all very much. Wishing you all a great weekend. And Jeff, once again, tumeshukuru, asante. Thank you for blessing us with your wisdom today.
Thank you so much, Mary. Thank you. God bless.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye.
See you soon. Okay, bye-bye.